Hello and welcome back. So today's video is going to be about eliminating limiting beliefs as well as choosing empowering beliefs instead. So limiting beliefs are, by nature of the word, very limiting. And really what that means is they're limiting in terms of they are limiting your ability to do something, or limiting your growth, if you will. In order to illustrate that, I want to go ahead and tell you a little story. So for those of you who've seen one of my previous videos, you are very well aware that I am not very good at math, and that math has become sort of a emotional trauma situation due to my ex-stepdad. But even before that was a thing, I never really was very good at math. You know, obviously 1 + 1 = 2, etc., and that good stuff, not a problem. Once it starts getting more complicated, word problems, letters in the equation, and so on, I'm going to start having a little bit of an issue. And really, I would tell myself things like, I'm stupid, I'm an idiot, I can't do this doesn't work, I'm never going to get this, etc., and so on. And these are all, by definition, very limiting words because they come from you. You're telling yourself you can't do this, or you're stupid, or you're an idiot, or whatever it is that you tell yourself. And I would imagine that a lot of us, either consciously or unconsciously, have said that to ourselves. And the thing is, the more you repeat that, the more it truly becomes a belief. And the more it becomes a belief, the easier it becomes what's called a core belief as part of your belief system. And so anyways, I would struggle with math. I would then attempt to get help from my ex-stepfather in math. He wouldn't be able to explain it to me in a way that I understood, and it became a cause of emotional trauma in the way that he dealt with me when it came to math, and then proceeding to make it much more difficult going forward because I truly believed that I'm terrible at math. To this day, I will still sometimes say I am terrible at math. And fact is, really, I'm not terrible at math. I just struggle with math. There's a small distinction, but that's not the point. So the point is simply, again, the more you say negative things about yourself, the more you say negative things about your ability or non-ability to do things, the more you start to believe it, the more it limits your growth. And so then, how do you get rid of limiting beliefs? What if the belief is something that you've held for a billion trillion years? Of course, I'm exaggerating, but what if you've lived your entire life with a limiting belief? Limiting belief that says, I'm not good at that, whatever that might be. History, math, pick whatever it is that you're not good at, or that you believe that you're not good at. And I want you to kind of reflect on your thought process. I want you to reflect on how many times in a day do you tell yourself that you're not good at XYZ, you're not good at that, you're an idiot, you're stupid, etc. Because negative self-talk and limiting beliefs really do go hand in hand as well. So that's a whole nother issue that we might talk about later. But imagine, again, reflect on your limiting beliefs, all of the things that you say that you can't do. So what I want you to do when you've done that is, I really want you to reflect on is it really a limiting belief in a sense that you absolutely cannot do it? Or is it just that you've convinced your brain for a very long time that you're not able to do it? Because, for example, like with my math situation, right? So I say I'm bad at math, and I believed for a very long time that I cannot do math. But fact of the matter is, I can do simple multiplication stuff. I can do simple division. I can do addition, subtraction, a lot of word problems now and things like that. So I can do math. I am able to do math. And in order to convince your brain that your limiting belief is nothing but BS, we have to feed our brain positive things. We have to feed our brain opposite facts long enough, and we have to believe them long enough for them to become part of our belief system. Much like consistent repetition of negative limiting beliefs becomes a core belief, consistent repetition of positive things ends up becoming a core belief. And so in order to be able to get rid of the effect of one negative statement, research suggests that you have to repeat 3 positive statements. So if your statement is, I'm unable to do this, or I don't believe that I can do this, you have to say 3 positive things to negate the effect of that negative. And really, that's how you eliminate those negative beliefs. Consistent, positive, real reinforcement of things. And then we have to start choosing more empowering beliefs. Now, there are a lot, and by a lot I really do mean a lot of outside influences that can impact how we feel, whether that be our job, whether that be our home life, whether that be school, whether that be any other environment that you're in. And anything that influences the impact on how we feel very easily can also impact the things on what we believe. And what I want to share with you when it comes to that is, remember that, and this goes to the outside environment impact, there's a lot of limiting beliefs that have been passed on from generation to generation to generation. And a lot of those have become so ingrained into our belief system that they have become a core belief. And because of the fact that they have been incorporated and passed down from generation to generation, they are so common that we feel that it is just normal for us to have these beliefs. And because of that, these negative limiting beliefs are very easy to spread. And the more you spread them, the more they continue to spread down the line and generations and generations. So we are tasked to stop those limiting beliefs from continuing to spread. And the way we eliminate limiting beliefs is we question them. We assess for validity, right? And when we start to question a belief, when we start to really dig into that, there's often a lot of evidence that we find to the contrary, to the opposite of what the belief says, and therefore it'll eventually weaken the acceptance of that belief. Imagine this, okay? Imagine there is a limiting belief that you have, and you're questioning its validity, like again, I'm bad at math. And imagine you're questioning it and continue to question that, and eventually weakening a belief, a limiting belief like that, is essentially like if you were to knock out the legs of a table. it can't stand, it crumbles, it falls. So to illustrate that, I want to just come up with I want to share a lot of limiting beliefs that you might have heard that illustrate both the limiting belief system that I was mentioning, but also the fact that it just doesn't make any sense, right? So the first one is a very common one, and it says money is the root of all evil. I know that we've all heard that at least once or twice in our life, and the fact is it gets repeated so often that it becomes a core belief. If you have too much money, you're evil, blah, 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 right? Now, if you were to question it, it's like money is the root of all. First of all, it's an expression, money is the root of all. But second of all, that's not true. There's a lot of positive things that are done with money. Donations to charitable causes, and whether or not they're valid is a completely different video, but donation to charitable causes, or, paying off your student debt, or all of these things question that particular belief and start to really just kick out the legs from under it. Don't burn your bridges. It's another one. Oftentimes that one is said when, you're leaving an employer to go to another employer. Don't burn your bridges. Or do. To question that belief is to move on and to grow. Yes, you should always leave an employer on a positive note. You should always give 2 weeks notice. You should do all these things. And that would be the appropriate thing to do. Or even with friendships, if you need to end a friendship, don't, end it on a bad term or whatever. But questioning don't burn your bridges. Maybe the reason you're burning your bridges on that relationship or that friendship or that employer is because that was a toxic relationship or employer or friendship. Right? So there's always a factor that you can use to question your belief system and make it fall apart if it is a limiting belief. Life is hard. That's my favorite limiting belief. Yes, there are people who have it harder than other people. Hell, there's a whole lot of people that have it harder than I do. There's a whole lot of people that have it harder than whoever. True. But life isn't hard. The decisions that you make that affect your life can make it hard, can make it easy. The circumstances in which you were born into can make it hard or can make it easy. But life in general isn't hard. No, not at all. Good things come to those who wait. I know we've all heard that one. I know we have, absolutely, 100%, I guarantee it. Everyone at one point in their life has heard, good things come to those who wait. And that might not be wrong. Questioning that belief, it might not be wrong. Certainly, I'm sure, if you have patience and you wait, good things will come to you. But if you don't have patience, you rush into things, you do things really well, or whatever it might be, good things can come from that too. So just saying good things come to those who wait is not necessarily a true belief. In fact, it can be a very limiting belief. Because what it says is, if we were to take it at face value, in everything that you do, you have to have patience. In everything that you do, you have to wait. And that doesn't work. Not always. So what I'm trying to get to now is I'm trying to get us to kind of reflect, question on these things, right? So imagine your limiting beliefs. It could be the ones that I've mentioned. It could be other ones that you've carried around with you. and ask yourself this question. Can you see any way in which these beliefs have limited you? Or is there any fear that has developed because of it? In my example of math, I could say that I had a fear of math. I still don't like it, but I wouldn't say that I have a fear anymore. Same thing with limitations. Can I see any way in which that's limited me? Yeah. At the time, I thought I was terrible. At that time, I legitimately thought I was stupid. At that time, I really felt bad because math sucks. I can't do math. So yeah, I had fears and limited me. And then you question it, right? So again, I'm stupid. I can't do math. Where did that idea come from? And then are we even sure it's true? The idea that I can't do math came from the fact that whenever I was doing math in school, I flunked my math tests. Seems like there's evidence there that I can't do math, right? Well, it's questionable, because yeah, it's possible that I didn't do well or flunked the school test, but that doesn't mean that I can't do math. I know that 1 + 1 is 2, and I know that 2 + 2 is 4, etc., and so on. So therefore, I can do math. It's very basic math, but then again, at the very core of the concept that I'm trying to say is it was a very over-encompassing view of I cannot do math, and the fact that I can do simple addition, as proven a minute ago, shows that I can do math. So therefore, my belief of I can't do math is 100% wrong. So we question it, right? You can also ask things like, who told you this? Are you sure they were right? And again, if we go back to the money is the root of all evil, I can tell you I've heard that from a teacher at school before. Way back when, don't know exactly the year, but I've heard it from them before. And now, with the knowledge that I have now, I can say that they were 100% inaccurate on that. And then, of course, again, do you have evidence that goes against these limiting beliefs? In my math example, I can tell you yes, because I can do 1 + 1 = 2, 2 + 2 = 4, etc., and so on. And then, do you have any evidence that affirms the empowering belief that you want to have? So if my empowering belief that I want to have is I can do math, I have proof, I have evidence. 1 + 1 is 2, 2 + 2 is 4, 3 × 3 is 9, etc., and so on. So I know I can do math. And I know that I'm simplifying things quite a bit, and I understand that there are some really tough limiting beliefs out there that seem like there is no potential empowering belief coming from that or stemming from that, but I guarantee you that we can find it. I guarantee you that there is an empowering belief underlying that stuff. And the thing is, if you should find yourself in a situation where you feel that the limiting beliefs are not true beyond reasonable doubt, can you just throw them away? Answer: if I cannot prove that my limiting belief is correct of I can't do math, then yeah, eventually I can throw it out. Eventually I can say, you know what, that's wrong. That is 100% wrong, because I can do 1 + 1 is 2, 2 + 2 is 4, etc., and so on. And again, basic math, but math is math, right? That's the concept that I'm trying to teach. Discarding limiting beliefs by finding an affirming, empowering belief, and substituting the empowering belief for the limiting belief long enough to make that become a core belief. With that said, I want to say thank you for watching. Hope today helped, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week for the next video. Thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.